Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. It's always only a matter of time until the truth slips out. I guess that's the thing about being a liar. Over time, it's kind of hard to keep up when you got all these compounding lies stacking on top of each other. When you're constantly putting up an act, eventually, the truth is gonna slip through. And that's now exactly what we're seeing with these Democrats. They're running their mouths, of course, doing a big social media blitz to take on Donald Trump. But as per usual, they're getting lost in the hysteria, and before you know it, the quiet part is then said out loud. And that, my friends, is exactly what just happened with Gavin Newsom and Brandon Johnson. We got these two Democrat clowns that are posturing and acting all tough about protecting democracy from Donald Trump, but what they actually just did is inadvertently admit to massive corruption. In their latest attempt to gaslight the public into thinking that Donald Trump is attempting a hostile takeover of American elections, they made the claim that they're now terrified of ICE agents posting up at polling places thinking that's going to deter voters. But just think about it for a second. If you're a citizen and there's ICE at the polls, how can that possibly deter you? The only people that it could possibly scare are illegals. So I guess congratulations, Gavin and little Brandon Johnson. You guys just admitted to the whole world your party's little dirty secret, which is clearly to weaponize illegal votes. This is absolutely wild. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so Gavin Newsom is clearly attempting to speak this narrative into existence. Remember just the other day we covered this clip.
We have got to fight fire with fire.
But I understand that's in Prop 50, but you're not saying you think Republicans are going to stop it.
I don't think Donald Trump wants another election. You think for a second I have 24 Trump 2028 hats. His folks keep sending me.
He's out here insisting that there won't even be an election in 2028 because Donald Trump is supposedly going to end democracy by then. Now, obviously, the claim is absurd on its face, but he's really committed to it. I guess you gotta give the guy credit. He'll stick to the narrative no matter how stupid and unbelievable. But of course, if you make a claim like that, you need to then back it up by the facts. He initially tried with the whole redistricting nonsense that he was pushing, and obviously that pathetic little Democrat narrative didn't hold up to reality. And so here comes Gavin Newsom with his latest fear-mongering tactic. Again, more pathetic attempts from the Democrats to basically scare their voter base into being galvanized to vote.
Do you think ICE is not going to show up around voting and polling booths to chill participation? You know that. The National Guard, you know that. Everybody knows what's at stake, so we have to put a stake in the ground and do things differently.
And that right there's the real admission. He's terrified of ICE agents at polling places. Just let that sink in for a second. As if ICE's presence would be a deterrent to American citizens showing up. Obviously, ICE exists to deal with illegal migrants, so if the mere presence of ICE at polling places makes Gavin Newsom think that elections will collapse, well, doesn't that tell you everything? He seems worried that illegals won't be able to show up to vote. He's saying the quiet part out loud. And interestingly enough, as it seems these days, a lot of the Democrat talking points seem to be coming straight from Gavin Newsom. He says something or posts something on X and then the rest of the Democrats are following. Well, I guess that trend now continues as Brandon Johnson is now saying the same thing, that ICE at polling stations could deter participation. One thing is becoming increasingly obvious. Democrats would do anything to make American elections less safe. First, the issue was voter ID. Voter ID, proof of citizenship, is somehow racist. It's voter suppression. And now they're scared, I guess, ICE would be there, possibly detaining illegal migrants. Now, obviously, ICE is not going to be showing up at polling places, even though that's probably the most base thing I've heard all week. It's yet again just another deranged left-wing conspiracy theory. But just the fact that their brains are going there, well, it's so incredibly telling now, isn't it? I guess these Democrats are panicking because deep down inside, they know that the entire Democrat machine depends on illegal migration. This is exactly why sanctuary cities exist. This is why Democrats are handing out driver's licenses to illegal migrants. This is why they openly push for voting rights for non-citizens in local elections in cities like New York and states like California. They tell you it's all about compassion and fairness, but obviously it isn't. It's about padding the rolls and cooking the damn numbers, just like they cook the census. Let's not forget that, right? The census is the jackpot. Sanctuary states like California counting illegals to inflate their population, which means, of course, more congressional seats, more electoral votes, more money flowing in. And that right there is exactly how they cheat the system. That's why you constantly see these Democrat leaders fighting tooth and nail to protect illegal migrants in their state.
We have received credible reports that we have days, not weeks, before our city sees some type of militarized activity by the federal government. We have not called for this. Our people have not asked for this. But nevertheless, we find ourselves having to respond to this. Although we believe the reports we have received are highly credible, this is an erratic, impulsive administration, and it is not always possible to understand and know exactly how he will move. He could change his mind, he could reverse course. In fact, I encourage him to do that. But still, we take these threats seriously, and we find ourselves in a position where we must take immediate, drastic action to protect our people from federal overreach. I'm signing an executive order today that will launch the Protecting Chicago initiative. Protecting Chicago will ensure that every Chicagoan knows their rights, that every single family is prepared, and every part of city government is directed to protect the people of Chicago from federal action. This sweeping executive order directs our Department of Law to pursue any and every legal mechanism to hold this administration accountable for violating the rights of Chicagoans.
In the city of Minneapolis, we will stand up for you, and we will do anything in our power to help. Because you're not an alien in our city, you're a neighbor. In Minneapolis, we have what is called a separation ordinance. We do not ask the question with regard to immigration status, and because we haven't asked the question, we don't have any data to show documentation status in our city.
We stand with immigrants. You belong here. We are a family. If you come for one of us, you will get all of us.
We are going to fight for all Angelenos, regardless of when they got here, whether they have papers or not. We are a city of immigrants, and this impacts hundreds of thousands of Angelenos.
Yeah, obviously, something stinks, and what's absolutely insane is that these are the same people who have the audacity to pretend as if they're the defenders of democracy. You know, they'll lecture you about voter suppression if you want voter ID, but in the same breath, they're fully willing to give illegals a path to the ballot box. They'll constantly go on and on about Donald Trump's illegitimate power grabs, but is there more of a blatant power grab than trying to swap out the current electorate with people who don't belong here, who never agreed to American laws, never swore allegiance to the country, just because they know that those people will vote for their party? You know, it's really difficult not to connect the dots. And really, if Democrats didn't rely on illegal aliens, then why are they freaking out so hard at the thought of ICE agents standing near polling sites? Clearly, if they weren't planning to abuse the system, well, they wouldn't care. The simple fact that they do care, the fact that they're screaming about it, the fact that Gavin Newsom's brain went there, well, it's proof of exactly what we've been saying for years. Their entire strategy depends on the importation of voters. And so the next time Gavin Newsom rants about Trump ending democracy, remember what he's really concerned about. He's scared that ICE might be there at polling stations to deter illegal migrants voting in American elections. Another pathetic gaslight, just like his little redistricting tantrum. But of course, this little pathetic attempt, well, it revealed something far more sinister. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.